Okay, so hopefully you have the category that you want and it's down packed and ready to go, or subcategory. So your next step after choosing your category, subcategory, is research. All right. Now, hopefully you did a little bit of research before you chose whatever, but um, researching would entail going online, looking up the subject matter, um, look up the history behind whatever you want to collect. I mean, if you're collecting rocks, all right, you want to know what type of rocks that you're collecting. You just don't want to just grab some rocks. And yes, rocks can be pretty expensive. You know, little kids starting off with little rock collections, slowly building up, those things can get into thousands to $100,000 for certain rocks. All right, so if you do your research, you'll be able to find out um, what's more expensive, what's harder to get, that kind of stuff. Now, one thing that I plan on using that as an example is Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Okay, now if you do research on Yu-Gi-Oh cards, you'll all right. Well, I'll tell you what I learned. This is when I first started collecting Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I knew about first editions unlimited. I'll explain that. First editions are um, limited run. Okay, once it's done, and it'll have first edition on. Once it's run, it's done. All right, then it has unlimited. Same card, but it's just the unlimited edition, so it won't have first on there. And basically, that's like mass produced. All right, now anybody who plays the actual game, they really probably don't care about first or unlimited edition. But collectors such as myself, we care about that first edition. All right. So one of the things I found out was there are first editions, but there are two types of first editions. There are hobby editions, and then there are retail editions. All right. Hobby editions have certain cards in them that retails won't have. Retail cards or retail editions will have certain cards that the hobbies won't. Okay, so if you're in it to make a complete collection and stuff, then you kind of got to know this. You know where to go to get these different cards and stuff. Um, Now, also, all right, let's say you're going for making a complete collection. Okay, so you buy a box, you open it up, you're not going to get a complete set here. Okay, so you're going to have to figure out what you get out of a box in general. So you can go online and kind of search for what you're more likely to get before you even start buying boxes. Because if you buy single packs, you just don't know what you're going to get. Well, a box is a little more guaranteed on certain cards. From there, you start learning about some of the harder to get cards, and you also learn prices. So you don't get ripped off. There are a lot of people out there who will try to rip you off. Overpricing cards and whatnot, and maybe you're able to get two of a special card that's really expensive, and you'll be able to have leverage because you know about that card, you know how expensive it is, rather than walk around and trade it for like it might be worth $30 and you trade it for like a 50-cent card or something. So some stuff to keep in mind. Now, while doing research, I was realizing early on when I started buying these that people were opening up the boxes. There's so many players out there that just love Yu-Gi-Oh! So they're opening up the boxes, opening up the cards, okay? Which meant that there were fewer boxes that were unopened. Alright, so sealed up boxes. And so I started buying a bunch of well, not a bunch of, but I started buying boxes of Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards to hold on to long term, okay? Now, my hope was that this would become basically rare or hard to come by. And I did a little bit of research on here on my phone just while we were doing this. All right, so Yu-Gi-Oh cards. When I first bought this, it was $80. Okay, now I jumped on eBay. eBay is a good place to check out the stuff. Popping up with Metal Raiders First Edition right off the bat, $1,120, $1,299. Now it doesn't mean I'm going to get that kind of money, but I do know that people will spend a lot of money for that. They're really expensive compared to other stuff. So to me, that's one of those things that I think I did pretty good in, and I wouldn't have been able to realize that if I hadn't done research. So it's one of those things that doing a bit of research on your subjects can learn a whole lot of stuff. This Glenn action figure right here, all right? There are two types. This is a limited edition one. This is like a blood splatter one. Then there's another just regular one, okay? This one's more limited. I didn't look into all the numbers and stuff. I just remember it being more limited. So just a little bit of research, just Googled it, jumped on Google and I checked out, a little bit about the action figure, found out, oh, cool, okay. So this is limited compared to the other one. So I went ahead and picked it up. All right. So it'd be like little things like that. Just research can give you knowledge that will help you out in the long run. All right. I have an action figure. I have to bring it up somewhere. It was kind of hard to come by, and I picked it up. It was a Alice in Wonderland action figure, and it was just really hard to come by, and it was going for a lot of money, like right off the bat. A lot of people were paying like hundreds and hundreds of dollars, and it had just come out. And so I just happened to stumble upon another place that was selling a limited edition variant of that figure, which is a different action figure. It was the same figure, but it's colored differently. I'll explain all this stuff later on. But I knew, because that action figure was so expensive at the time, and doing the research and stuff, like how crazy the prices were going, that this one, which was even more limited, would be worth more money. So it's worth like 10 times more money. It's like the Gothic edition of American McGee's Alice and stuff. So I got lucky and I picked up 2 of them. And that's something else I'll bring up eventually too, is buying 2 of everything. But yeah, I'm going to cut this short and then get to the next video. Hopefully learned a little bit about the importance of research.